In South Africa, mass raids on Russian mercenaries have unexpectedly begun. In fact, high-profile arrests have begun of those who, in the Republic of South Africa, are helping Russians recruit Africans to fight against Ukraine. As of today, 5 high-profile arrests have been reported in the Republic of South Africa over the past 2 days. It has reached the point where Duduzile Zuma Sambudla, the daughter of former President of the Republic of South Africa Jacob Zuma, has left parliament and resigned from all government positions. After being accused of recruiting 17 fellow citizens to participate in the war against Ukraine on the side of Russia. In addition, local law enforcement agencies have started raids at airports where they catch men who are planning to go to Russia to fight later against Ukraine. It is reported that the day before in Johannesburg, 5 men were arrested who were heading to Russia and are suspected of being recruited to participate in combat on the side of the Russian Federation. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic, but before we begin, please subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. This really helps promote the channel on YouTube. Also subscribe to my Telegram channel Pechiy News, the link is in the description of this video. And if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video. So, in South Africa, mass raids have begun on those who were recruiting citizens to fight against Ukraine on the side of Russia. The most high-profile episode even involved the resignation of a high-ranking official, Duduzile Zuma Sambudla, the daughter of former President of the Republic of South Africa Jacob Zuma, left parliament and resigned from all government positions after she was accused of recruiting for herself. Zuma Sambudla represented the opposition party led by her father in the National Assembly. The party stressed the resignation was voluntary and effective immediately. And so the head of the party, it's called MK, Natin Kleko, told reporters that the party had nothing to do with sending men to Russia, and Zuma Sambudla's resignation should not be seen as an admission of guilt. Well, according to him, MK intends to support the families of those affected. He says, listen, of course we didn't recruit anyone, we didn't send anyone, but due to the fact that there are clearly South Africans who died in the war against Ukraine, we will support these families. And then there's a quote from the head of that party, the one where Zuma Sambudla was a member. The national officials accepted Comrade Duduzile Zuma Sambudla's decision to resign and support her efforts to ensure the safe return of these young South Africans to their families. Well, on Sunday, November 23rd, the police announced the start of an investigation into Zuma. And the reason for this investigation was an official complaint from her half-sister who accused her and 2 other people of being involved in sending men to fight in Ukraine on the side of Russia, and called for a criminal investigation. So the half-sister says, I know for sure that my sister, who is in politics, was actually recruiting South Africans, and then, they were sent as cannon fodder to fight in the war against Ukraine. Actually, this story began much earlier. The South African government stated in early November that 17 citizens were deceived and recruited under the guise of lucrative jobs and ended up in the combat zone in Donbas. The statement says that the men were lured into the fighting under the pretext of lucrative work contracts. They are all between 29 and 39 years old, and they found themselves trapped in war-torn Donbas. Well, next I'll quote a statement from the South African government. President Cyril Ramaphosa ordered an investigation into the circumstances that led to the recruitment of these young men to this seemingly mercenary activity. I would like to note that according to South African law, citizens of this country are prohibited from providing military assistance to foreign governments or participating in the armies of foreign governments unless it is authorized by the South African government. It is worth adding that in August of this year, the South African government had already officially warned young people to be careful with fake job offers in Russia that were being spread on social media. After reports that some South African women had been deceived and then forced to assemble drones in Russia. And now it turns out that the daughter of the former president of the country may have been involved in sending her own fellow citizens to fight in the war against Ukraine. And after that, raids began in South Africa. A day earlier at Johannesburg airport, law enforcement arrested 4 men bound for Russia, suspected of being recruited to fight for the Russian Federation. Next, I'll quote a statement from the South African police. The arrests were made after receiving information about 4 men who were traveling to Russia via the United Arab Emirates. The initial investigation found a South African citizen allegedly assisted in the relocation and recruitment of these individuals into the Russian army. The South African police added that the 4 suspects are expected to appear in court as early as Monday, December 1, on suspicion of violating the law regulating foreign military assistance. Already the next day, today, November 30, another suspect was arrested in South Africa for recruiting mercenaries to fight against Ukraine. Another quote from the statement by the South African police. Another suspect was arrested by the Hawks unit for combating state crimes in connection with ongoing investigations. How were South Africans involved in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine? Well, here you go. The Center for Countering Disinformation at Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council said Russia has recruited people with disabilities for the war since the invasion began. Next is a quote from S from 2022. Russia has recruited foreigners from 128 countries around the world using fraudulent recruitment centers, private companies, and state channels through its diplomatic and cultural institutions. And according to the Center for Countering Disinformation, the largest number of people fighting for Russia are citizens of North Korea. 12,000 people. Next come the countries of Central Asia. From Uzbekistan, according to official data, there are 2,715 people. From Tajikistan, 1,599. From Kazakhstan, 1,190. And from Kyrgyzstan, 687 people. Also, 1,338 Belarusians are taking part in the fighting against Ukraine. And at the end of the broadcast, I'll quote the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council. Moscow has built a transnational system for recruiting foreigners using deception and criminal schemes. People from many countries across Asia and Africa have joined the war against Ukraine, with many killed or captured. Hundreds and thousands of citizens from different countries have been drawn into the aggression through deception, coercion, or for money. So I'll leave it at that for now. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. That's all for now. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.